So hello, welcome back if you are even watching this third video, but hey, gotta start somewhere. So I was gonna make a video, actually I started it on a topic, and I'll tell you what the topic is in a minute, but then something happened today that made me, so I'm guessing I'm gonna like tell you a story about what happened today and then lead you, because it leads directly into my topic anyway. And if y'all don't remember, this is Onyx. Onyx is my very beautiful girl dog who likes to always need attention during my video. Stop, get off the sweater. Jeez, sorry, get down and play with your toys. No, down and play with your toys. Thank you. She's pop up soon. Ow, like she just did. Stop, get down. Get down, bitch. No, I love you, get down, stop. Okay, but so I went grocery shopping today. Well, I went dancing, and then I went grocery shopping because I like to be a model citizen. Mostly I had to get food for you. For you. Stop. You eat so well. You don't stop. Get off the fucking sweater. She loved to pull the sweater. Okay, so that is besides the point. But I went grocery shopping. I was coming out of the parking lot. And no, I was coming out of the store into the parking lot, and stop. This guy who I saw in front of me in line, but never paid attention to him. Like I really didn't. I just was like more concerned about like how much the shit's gonna cost, because adult ain't easy. But I did. So I was just putting the cart back, and he like stopped. I was like, oh shit. And to my surprise, by the way, he has like 3 kids in the car. I was like, what? I'll just leave him in there, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I was like, it was just shocking because I saw 1 and I saw 2, and the third one was kind of like happened. And I was like, what? Why are you having more kids right in front of me? This is crazy. But he was like, hey, I'm a plug. He was like, you smoke? And like, if anyone, to people who don't know this, I don't date, and I also I don't have sex with random people. It's just not my thing. I don't know who know. It's not my thing anymore, okay? People who know me are gonna be like, what? No, okay. So, I love you. Yeah, I can't, like, all right, multitasking. So, he comes over and he's like, hey, you smoke? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I don't look it, but I do, okay? He's like, hey, you smoke? So I'm like, yeah. And he was like, here, take my number. I got, like, good deals or whatever. And I knew what this was going. I was like, it was in, like, it was in like Forest Acre. Like, you don't do that. You don't just walk up to somebody's car and like, you smoke. I don't know you, nigga. What? You can't just, like, stop. Jesus. How do you sit your toy on the dresser? That's funny. And so I put his number in my phone or whatever. We were texting, but the texting got very aggressive. To people who, like, to anyone who's ever texted a man, like, it's like, it just went very aggressive so fast. Because he was like, I was like, oh, he's like, how much you pay for an 8? I'm like, 25 if anything. And not that we do drugs, but, you know, if I were to, hypothetically, I was like 25. He was like, I got 8s for 30. I was like 30. I was like, that's that pandemic insurgency, because that's crazy. Stop. And so we were texting, and I was like, oh, well, you know, because I was trying to play it like casual, because I was like, I know what's going on, like intuitively, I knew what was happening, but I was like, I'm not gonna make this that, because I don't want it to be that, but I knew what was going for it, and like, I ain't gonna lie, you know, he wasn't terrible looking, okay? Stop. So, and so he texted me, he's like, oh, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I was like, that's how we're leading into this? I was like, no transition, nothing, just very aggressively, like, you just wanted it. I'm like, comment. I'm like, oh my God, like, I didn't even tell you if I wanted it yet, and now you're inviting me to come taste it? Like, Jesus. I was like, where's the allure? Like, y'all just ready to give anything. And which ties into, and I was like, okay, so then he like calls me out of nowhere, and I'm like, that's don't do that. And but I answered, and he was like, well, where do you live? I'm like, no town. And he said, stop, please. He's like, I'm like downtown. He's like, where? I'm like, what do you mean where? And he's like, off of what? I'm like, why? I was like, we haven't established anything. Why are you asking for my address? Like my address, but like literally, he's like, ready. Why? A lot of questions going on because when I don't know, I'm like, I don't know you. I don't know your name. All I know is you just drive a nice car and have 3 fucking kids, which do not belong to me. Okay, so you come with a lot of baggage. Let's calm down. All right, and. So I'm like, I don't know, and okay, so he starts getting like irritated because he's like, why can't I pull up to you? I'm like, I don't want you to pull up. I was like, because one, I don't know you, and he was like, so you want? He's like, you can come over to my house, but I can't come over to yours. I was like, yes. He's like, so people can. I was like, people can come over to my house. That's not a thing. I don't know why you're asking me such a weird option. Like, you were included in everybody in my life. That's the way I just met you, and. Then I'm like, well, I was like, to be fair, I was like, I met you in a parking lot. Like, it's not like we established such a, and then, you know, had it actually been like platonic, you're a drug dealer. Like, shut up. Like, shut up. No, you can't just walk up to it. No, it's stupid. And the people who do that, like, please be careful. Like, don't let people just come to your fucking house, because that's odd. That's an odd thing to do. You're insatiable. That's not nice. That's not nice, and that's not play attitude. Stop. This is why I don't put on this fucking sweater as much. Because, stop. I'ma change. Okay, so I'm back, and I had to change because, yeah. Anyways, the whole story kind of ties into this idea of, in my opinion, love being gone. Or, I wouldn't say gone, kind of. I really would say gone, but like I wouldn't say it's up. So when I say that, I think it's also a very misunderstanding of love as well. So I don't think y'all know what it is, because I feel like a lot of people these days, and there's a lot of topics about love I can get into, and also I can also teach people how to fucking love, which I'm gonna hear y'all, so I can teach you how to do that. I can teach you how to do a lot, okay? But one of the main things about this is that, like, I feel like a lot of people these days, or a lot of people in general, especially like during, I would say, our parents' generation for sure, which is where it like starts, because it has to start from somewhere. And I think it's something that's being passed down generational. That's the generational curse. But for sure, I think there's this idea that, like, for me, I think a lot of you guys are getting in relationships for the simple aesthetic. And I say that I think people are just being in relationships to be in relationships, because the world does kind of throw this idea at us that if we're not in love, then we're not complete. And that we need to have somebody to validate us, otherwise, who's gonna? And I'm like, that's not how that works. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, because I've done it, okay? We've all done it. We've all been in relationships where we put all, like, if you are looking for someone to complete you in a relationship, that is a problem. That's not cute. You know, people are like, oh my God, he completes me. Bitch, you don't complete yourself. Like, I mean, I get it's a reference, but it's just the same. But like, they know what it means, okay? I said, I wish she's not doing nothing stupid, because puppies are children. And by that, I mean accidents. I'm kidding. No, I just mean that, like, cool. Anyways, and also with like okay, I don't know if anyone's ever seen, what is it? The Ultimatum. I think it's a Netflix show. I haven't watched it. I've watched I watched bits of it, and first of all, like, there's a lot of things in love I want to talk about, and I'm not gonna get into it. I mean, there's multiple videos and multiple different things I have to talk about. But like, some of the girls were like 22 asking for a ring. Like, if he doesn't want to marry me, it's 22. Like, I'm 22. Why you look 45? Also, but like, second, like, what? Calm down. Not that big of a deal, okay? Calm it down, okay? But I think love is one of the most misunderstood things in the world. It is the most beautiful thing, something that is magnificent when used the right way. But I don't think a lot of people know how to, one, receive it, and two, to give it back. It's just not something that's not taught. And I know it sounds so mushy and gushy and like weird, but it isn't. It isn't something that's talked about or taught the right way. And I think, and I understand like the problem is that like if you don't know it, you can't teach it. And there's a huge lesson I learned behind that too. And it's not easy, but it's a thing. But I just feel like love is something that a lot of people will mistake for a lot of different things. Like, one of the most common things is lust, obviously, but then the other ones is just not, y'all are not healing yourselves enough for y'all to be in relationships. Like, as an adult, you can't let your past, like, your past is your past, but like, you are your future. And that sounds so cliche, but it's true. It's a true thing. You are your future, so you can't like keep using your past as an excuse to hurt other people. Hurt people will hurt people, but people these days are very much so like just literally passing down the same shit over and over and over again. No one takes the time to learn the lessons out of a simple relationship, and then no one knows how to let it go. No one knows how to let it go. Number two, like, rejection is divine protection. And I can't like stress that enough. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, but like, it is something that like you guys need to take into, people need to take into account these days, because we're simply just letting relationships go on way too long. And that's also for friends too. Child, if it's a problem, let it go. Like, out the window kind of shit. But I think in relationships these days, there's so much of people trying to make up for lost time or make up for things that happened in the past because they don't keep learning from it. So like, if you keep repeating the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same thing. And a lot of people these days think love is a materialistic thing, like whatever he buys for you and whatever he or she does for you. And one of the worst things about society these days is the fuck. No, bitch, stop. This is what the fuck I mean. How do I need to be down there for like 6 minutes and she's chewing on the fucking like border on the what? And what kills me is that she's like, her toy is right there. No. It's right there. All 7 of them shits. And that's because I haven't even got the rest out the drawer. Like, what more does she need? Oh my God, I just bought her a collar, y'all. I know that's so random, but like, I had an impulse buy. I bought glasses because I want to feel smart, okay? And I got rid of my ones because I have some spiritual lesson. Anyways, so then I got this like really cute pink collar. It's kind of nice. I kind of like it. It's a fancy little collar. Although I got the medium because I think the small would be, I don't want to go too small. Because if anything, I can poke a hole in the medium and make it work. I can nigger rig some shit, okay? But I like, because she's gonna get bigger, and I don't want to like, I also don't want to like buy a collar and have the shit like only work for like a week. You know what I mean? And then like 2 weeks later, the bitch is bigger than the, and I can say bitch because she's a female dog. So leave me and my bitch alone. What? I should make an Instagram about her and call it me and my bitch. That'd be funny though. So off topic. But back to my point. I don't know. I think like, I don't want to sound so condescending, but like, I could teach people how to love. There's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different things you need to learn as a whole. But like, and think of it like this. So if y'all can follow this for a second, sometimes people don't understand the lessons you learn in relationships are like not the ones you think of. And it's because no one takes the time to reflect. People jump in and out of relationships like this shit is like a fucking juggling gym. I'm like, oh my God, like, and they keep falling the fuck off and getting back on. I'm like, okay, but like, dude, go heal those wounds. Like, get some band-aids, get the first aid kit, work on yourselves. Also, I bleach my hair. I don't know why. Like, I should have said that a long time ago. But like, I know, like, if you look in the video, it's gonna be like black. The fuck. But no, stop chewing on the fucking border. Don't look at me like that. Don't make me come down. Please don't make me come down. I don't want to. I truly don't want to. I'm gonna check my chicken though. I'm baking a chicken. That's so weird. Okay, but so a lot of times, like, all right, so I will tell you a brief story that I'm gonna make a video later, but like a brief story. So I met a guy, and it was through a friend. It was a friend of a friend, and he's one of my best friends. I don't know why I have to say it like that, but, and at the time I was asking like the universe to manifest a relationship, right? And I had this image of what a relationship was in my head, right? And when we did all of the thing, okay, and for a couple weeks I had that exact image, and it was actually being portrayed in real life, and I was like, that's so fucking cool. But like, on Valentine's Day, we like broke up, per se. Mostly just went our separate ways. I got taught a big lesson in that way, and I'm gonna get to that on a different day. But like, one of the things I learned that was a super major shift for me, and it was that I learned that the idea of what I had in my head of what a relationship was only one facet of it. It was one thing being projected to me my entire life. And not by my parents, because that was terrible, but by like media and stuff, by like, you know, all the cute stuff, all the like the waking up in the morning and the laying down and making the tea. Like I drank. It was weird. People called me his wife for like a good couple of weeks. My best friend was like, "Why you like somebody's housewife?" I was like, "Shut up, I'm not nobody." And then lo and behold, but I learned. But a couple of things we didn't have between us was depth. And as a Scorpio sun, like, that is something I legit need. Like, legit need, okay? Like, if you have no depth, what are you? Are you even human? Are you alive? You know, I was about to say, I was about to go do something with my phone, but I'm videotaping on my phone. Thoughts. But we didn't have depth. We didn't have like good communication, because his energy would very much overwhelm me a lot, and like I didn't like speak too much, and I was like, why the fuck does this feel familiar? And it reminded me of like a lot of the times I was in the cars with Johns, like, and if you don't know why I say that, like, I watch a lot of Law and Order, so like I always say John, because I used to be like a huge whore, and I would do whorish things, but hey, we all go through our phases. Anywho, it reminded me of this like awkward car rides most of the time where I would just be silent until we get to the spot. You know what I mean? Like, and then like the worst thing was that we had like small talk between us. So like, and one thing I hate, like for me with a passion, is I cannot fucking stand small talk. I don't care. Like, I don't do the whole like, how are you? What's good? Like, that's so dumb. Like, you don't care. And if we have to like sit here and I don't want to force a conversation. That's me exerting too much energy that doesn't need to be exerted, like, at all. So no. And a lot of things are just, I made myself very demure in the relationship, which is very like odd, because I don't like doing that around people. I'm always like, if you ask anybody, I'm usually the grandest thing in the room, personality wise. Like, it was just odd. It was weird, and I was like, what the fuck? So like, one of the things I learned after that was that I only knew love based on what I had known at that time. So hear me out. It sounds like I know it sounds like a mind fuck, but it's not. So it's like, imagine love as a book. and you read one chapter of it and you're like, ooh, I want that, right? And then you go find that thing that happened in chapter 1 and you get that, but then it's like, oh, it doesn't work out. And you're like, what the fuck? So then you go back to your house and you read chapter 2. And then you're like, oh, okay. And now that you have information from chapter 2, you want that. And then you go and get that. And then it doesn't work. So you come back and repeat the thing with chapter 3. You see what I'm kind of get at? Like, it's like you don't know, and you until you read the entire book, or you get information enough that makes you feel like you read the entire book. Okay, that sounds dumb. That's not what I mean. But like, until you read more of that book, you're only gonna go and get based on what you have already. So you take that information and go with it. Like, that's all you know. So a lot of people, when you guys jump out, if you jump out of like an abusive relationship, emotionally. I mean, I don't feel like going to that all shit. Okay, but like, emotionally, right? And then you like jump out and you break up and you're cool, but then like you don't take the time to go reflect on why the things they said triggered you, why you don't like, you haven't gone to the fact that you may not trust words from somebody else again. So like, you know, that and on. So like, you don't go into that. So you know, that's the next relationship you have, you are still in that same place, and you haven't gone back to reread chapter 1 and then add chapter 2. You don't do the reflection, you don't add on more knowledge. You're still gonna attract what you know. And so back to like the story, that's kind of the point I'm trying to make, is that like, when I left that relationship, or situationship, if you want to call it, okay? Honestly, it was a fucking one night stand. Because he was so drunk and he was very nice, that just went on for 2 weeks. And like, he worked as a chef, so like he would cook me food all the time. But then like, also I learned I was very energy sensitive, because I was like, why does this food taste different? Because like, it wasn't that same energy he was trying to attract me with. So like, it was being cut or cooked, whatever. And I was like, okay, so that's also why. So that's another video in itself, because empaths get it. But back to my point is like, being that like, it all coming out of that situationship, and coming from what the fuck I nigga, okay, Nika. It taught me that like, what I had thought love was, or consisted of, can be true. It's not a bad thing. You can dream, but I can't base the experience I'm having off of that dream, because it's only gonna fall flat in comparison, honestly. And that was one of the like flaws I had to admit to myself, is that like, damn, I do project this idea, because we weren't in a relationship, and I kept expecting him to treat it like a relationship, but we weren't. It wasn't an actual discussion we had. It was an assumption that I based upon him and then forced it to be true, but it wasn't true. So therefore, caused my own disappointment by dreaming heavy without putting in the work. And also, which is also like really unfair to him too, because, you know, he didn't ask to like, we were both fucked up in like one night, you know what I'm saying? We were just kind of two water signs. But the point being is that like, love is fucked, and y'all keep fucking it up, and no one's like helping y'all. So I guess I volunteered. I'm gonna try. I just kind of like, I'm still getting the chaos. See, I have to be more organized though. I have a topic, right? And I have a lot of videos to be acquired from that topic. I just gotta get a lot of shit done. Not really. It really just takes like 20 minutes to look up a research. It's not that I don't have the information on it. It's just that like, I don't, one step at a time, you know? One step at a time. Also, can we appreciate how, as a diabetic, I'm really healing well? Because I don't know, that it's not anything like y'all really care, but like, my dog's been fucking me up lately. And y'all can't see it because of my smooth chocolatey Hershey skin, which is lovely. But God, there's a lot of scratches here. I gotta get her nails cut. And like, I know that's like partly on me. Like, she can go do it herself. Who else but me? But yeah, I know it's just rambling. And like, one day I'm gonna get like, I'm gonna start editing the video so it's not like bullshit, but like, but hey, it is what it is. So thank you for listening. And I'm gonna go and, well, I'm probably gonna edit this because I got 2 videos I got put in one. So yeah, so I'll see you next time. So thanks.